11.1 Translations. In Chapter 11, we talk about transformations, where we change a figure into another and create a new figure called an image. But in 11.1, we are only going to talk about translations. Translations is where we move a figure. We slide it. We don't turn it. We don't rotate it. We don't create a mirror image. It is merely moving left or right or up or down, and it moves the same distance in the same direction. So if we look at example A, we see that this red figure is a translation of the blue one because it has moved up and to the right. In example B, the blue rectangle is not a translation because it has been rotated. So now it is time for you to write in your notes. There are 3 fill in the blanks. Okay, before we move on, we need to review the coordinate plane. We remember that this axis here on the horizontal is the x-axis and the vertical one is the y. We have 4 quadrants, and in these 4 quadrants, the first quadrant, our x and our y are both positive. In the second quadrant, our x is negative and our y is positive. And in the third, both are negative. And in the fourth, we have a positive x and a negative y. Okay, the thing to remember about the coordinate plane is that we show points as being in ordered pairs, and ordered pairs are in the form of x comma y. So this point right here, in the x direction, it is 2, and in the y direction, it's up 1. So our ordered pair for that point is 2 comma 1. You need to remember that if we move to the right on our x-axis, we are moving in the positive direction. If we move to the left, we're moving in the negative direction. And on the y-axis, if we move up, we're going positive, and if we're going down, we go negative. Okay, so we can translate in the coordinate plane, and that means if we move our figure left or right, we are changing our x value. And if we move our figure up or down, we are changing our y value. So we have 2 ways we can do this. We have an example here where we have a red triangle. We want to move it 3 units to the right and 3 units down. So we can use this first method of using the coordinate plane, which merely means we take this first point B and we move it 1, 2, 3 to the right and 1, 2, 3 down. So our new point B is right here, right? I denote it with a little tick mark because I want to show that this is the image that's been translated from the original. Okay, now we can do the same for point C. We move it 1, 2, 3 to the right and 1, 2, 3 down. That's point C, the new C, and A at the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that is our new triangle, right? And then we can merely look on the coordinate plane and show the new ordered pairs. So A is at 1, comma, negative 2. B is at 5, comma, 2. And C is at 4, comma, negative 1. Okay, the other method we can use is we can just use the coordinates. So we start out with A as being at negative 2, comma, 1. B being at 2, comma, 5. And C being at 1, comma, 2. Okay, remember in our example here, we said we move 3 units to the right and 3 units down. Okay, thinking back to our last slide, remember if we move to the right, we're moving in the positive direction. And if we move down on the y-axis, we're moving in the negative direction. So we are going to add 3 to our x, and we're going to take away 3 in our y. So our new coordinates will be our original is -2, and we're going to add 3. And our original is 1, and we're going to take away 3. So our new ones are 1, comma, -2. And then for b, we do the same thing. We take our original b, and we're going to add 3. Take our original y and subtract 3. So our new values become 5, comma, 2. And then for c, same thing. 1, add the 3. 2, take away the 3. So we get 4, comma, -1. And these values should match up with what we have over here, and they do. Okay, so now time for you to write in your notes. You're going to do the review on the coordinate plane and fill in the blanks for translating. Now that we've done that, we have 2 practice problems. Okay, for the first practice problem, we are just looking to see if this is a translation. Remember, a translation only slides. So you need to ask yourself, am I sliding the red one to get to the blue one? All right. Practice problem number 2, you have 2 methods. Remember, you can use the coordinate plane. So you can find these points and plot new points and plot them on the coordinate plane. Or you can use the other method of just using the coordinates, and you can add or subtract depending on how we're moving. How we are moving, it says here, translate the figure 4 units right. That means moving in the positive x direction. So we are going to add 4 units in the x direction. And then for the y, it says 1 unit up. Remember, moving up in the y means we are also going to move in the positive. So our x values are going to increase by 4, and our y values are going to increase by 1. So for instance, point U is at -1, 3. Let's write that better. -1, 3. And we said we're going to move in the positive direction here, and we're going to move the positive direction here. So our new U is going to be 3, 4. And you do that for all the other 3. And that is it for 11.1.